for me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through all ages and all of life's stages. You bring me around to find my release.
Hi, welcome to be my guest today. We have back one of our most popular authors, Lisa Shea, and she's local. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
This woman pumps out more books than there are water containers. I've been looking forward to her latest one, Spirits in the Material World. She brought me in the copy today. We're going to talk about the other books, too. When did you start this one?
I started it in May, and I wrote the first third, and then I put it aside until the end of August, and then I did a scramble to finish the rest of it.
You know that bookstore, Enchanted Passage?
Yeah.
Lisa has a lot of her books over there, too, over in Sutton. If you ever want to go over there, great place to go. I brought a friend recently, and it's just amazing.
Oh, it is. It's beautiful.
And I found your section down. I knew where your section was. Now, we've talked with so many. It's a Salem bookstore, Cozy Witch Mystery. Give us a general idea what this one's about.
Well, she's a young woman who owns a bookstore, and she's able to see spirits, so the locals come to her for advice, and a local couple that owns a bed and breakfast has a troublesome spirit in their bed and breakfast that they want to get rid of, so they come to talk with her about that.
Do these ideas come like that to you?
Well, I go to Salem fairly often because I have the Black Cat series there.
Yeah.
So I go to, every time they sell out, I bring more books out to them
I'll bet
so
they'd
that they
love
can
you for
sell.
that.
And I was in one of the local magic shops, and someone came into the magic shop saying that she wanted some spells to banish a spirit. And the woman in the magic shop said, no, you shouldn't be trying to anger spirits. You should be trying to get along with them. And I said, that sounds like the great basis for a story. So
That does. Well, like some of those paranormal shows, they really push the boundaries. I mean, it was like, sometimes they'll pretend to get mad at the spirit and this and that. I'm not sure how much is. There's a guy named Mr. McGillicuddy, and he needs help with a troublesome spirit. So does he go to the bookstore?
Yep, it's actually a she, and she's the owner of the bed and breakfast, so she goes to the bookstore, and the bookstore owner goes over to help them and learn more about the spirit.
A Salem bookstore, Cozy Witch Mystery. I've been getting more and more into the cozy mystery form. I used to always read, just thrillers or just this and that. I hit a cozy mystery. It wasn't yours. I hit another cozy mystery a while back. And I thought, I'll try it. And I found out that I really enjoy it. I really love it. Now, again, how can they get this on for themselves?
Well, they'll buy it at Enchanted Passage, but they're always on Amazon. All my things are on Amazon in paperback and ebook format.
They would go to Lisa Shea or Spirits in the Material World.
Well, they could search for either. If you search for Lisa Shea, all my books will come up.
You have now more than 350.
Yeah, it should be over 400 now.
What? I just saw you. Are there 2 or 3 Lisa Sheas? How do you do this?
A lot of them are short. Some of them are full length like this, but other ones are short ones, so there's a mix of different content.
Now, I think I got an email from Lisa in the wee hours of the morning, and I can relate, because sometimes that's the best thoughts. I don't know why, but I can relate to it. I'm like, Lisa's up late. Now, okay, this is the biggie for right now. You can also get a copy downstairs, right, at the Upton Library. Cozy Mysteries. Give it a shot. I feel like I used to be. All I read was like thrillers and mysteries. This is a lot of fun. There's a lot of down-to-earth reality in this one for me, in these type of books. Because the cozy mysteries, I cannot explain it. You could actually picture maybe your local library.
Right.
Or a local bed and breakfast. And picture the characters. And there's not a lot of blood and guts.
Right.
No, this is pretty cool. What age group would you say?
Teens and up.
Teens and up. All right, now, which one do you want to talk about next?
Let's do the other horror one.
Okay, Lisa's Dark Gripping Short Tales. See if you get a copy of that. Now, has that come out yet?
It is out. It's just the books are arriving at the house today. They ran late. So it's a brand new release.
Yeah.
I used to say I didn't write horror stories, and then I said I shouldn't define myself by what I won't do, so I decided to write some horror short stories. So it's a set of 9 different short stories. And again, I don't tend to write with gore or violence, so they're more psychological kinds of stories.
Yeah, they are the psychological horror suspense short stories. Did you pick that one? You sure you did?
Yeah.
She's sitting in a swing with a huge spider, a lot of them, and then a big daddy legs, coming at her. What's this one basically about?
Well, there's 9 different stories, and each of them is different. But for example, the the way we do death penalty in the U.S. concerns me because we use a cocktail of chemicals,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always work properly, and there have been all sorts of cases where people have suffered for hours and hours while it was taking effect. So it's that sort of thing that I talk about.
In this one?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then, there's spiders, because I have spiders on the cover, so it's a story about spiders. So
Lisa's dark, gripping short tales. So one of the stories is about the death penalty chemicals that are used. What made you think of that? It would never dawn on me.
Well, you're reading the news sites about all these different kinds of things that happen, and those are the types of things that tend to stand out to me, the things that get you thinking about what if I was an innocent person on death row and this happened to me, and now I've got all these chemicals swimming through my system and I have no control over it. So
Yeah.
again, it doesn't tend to be about knives stabbing into people or that sort of more overt thing. It's more a psychological, the kinds of fears that people can have.
So there are 9 stories. Give us an idea of some of the other ones.
Well, one of them is a woman whose mother died from breast cancer and whose mother was very, very strict. So now she's extremely attentive to every single thing she does, hoping that she doesn't get breast cancer too.
Oh.
And then she thinks that she has something inside her, that there's a sickness inside her.
So she's paranoid.
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. Are any of these based on, well, a little bit on something you already know?
Well, I think in each case it's something that I was reading about that intrigued me and said that would be a scary kind of situation and something that you just sort of sit and mull over.
Lisa, when are you going to be at Enchanted Passage again, where people can meet you?
Halloween. We're going to do a Halloween party for teens and adults, so there'll be henna paint.
Right there at Enchanted Passage
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Sutton, and it's on Armsby Road.
Yes.
Can't miss it. The dinosaur, is he purple and orange, or what is that dinosaur?
Yeah, it's about that color. I think he's a dragon. He has wings.
Dragon, yeah, it's a dragon. I brought a friend there recently, and we both enjoyed ourselves. We both, brought books and everything. But you go in that store, and it's you go everywhere. They have all kinds of things, and Lisa has her own little area there. I cut that right away. I said, good. Now, you're going to be appearing there in Halloween. Anything else coming up?
Well, I'll just say for the Halloween one, it'll be me and S.M. Nevermore, who also writes paranormal stories, and Cheryl, who also writes paranormal stories. So there'll be 3 of us authors there, all talking about witches and warlocks and that kind of creepy thing.
And you were just down in Uxbridge. What's the name of that store?
A Touch of Magic.
What's it like over there?
Oh, it's lovely. And we're going to be back there in October, too, doing the same 3 of us will be doing a talk about witches and the Salem witch trials. And
Oh, I'm lucky enough to get Lisa. I was just going to say, I'm lucky enough to get all your emails and events. How do people reach you, and how can you get those out to them?
Well, go to Facebook, look just for Lisa Shea or Lisa Shea Author on Facebook, and you can find me, and I'll have all the events on there, or my lisashea.com website.
And if they want to get it all the time, they can always sign up with you. It's free.
Yep, there's a newsletter.
I didn't keep up with her because I don't know. I sometimes think there's 3 of her. All right, now we got that one. What is Sophia the Pet Shop Boy?
Yep, so this is about a young teenage boy who realizes that he would rather be a girl. So he happens to come across someone else who is transitioning from one to the other, and he realizes finally that this is a possibility for him. So it's the first in a series of books that's going to be coming out.
What a great idea.
Well, we had a compilation. Every year the Sutton Writing Group puts together a compilation of stories and poems, and we had one on animals, and I decided to write this about the pet shop and about the turtles, and decided to have a character in it who was a trans.
Now this would be, what age group do you think?
A teen and up. That's what I tend to write for in general.
Sophia the Pet Shop Boy, a transgender coming of age story. You're I'm going to say you're almost ahead of your time here, because I'm not seeing anything about that yet. You're one of the first, right?
Well, but there's more and more books coming out on all sorts of different topic areas, which I think is a very good thing. It's good to have a lot of different people represented.
He's got his first job at a local pet store in Grafton, Massachusetts. Her stories, which is really cool, revolve around this area, Singletary Lake area, up in Sutton, so that as you read, you can picture. You can picture it. That's why I think it's so nice and down to earth. I don't have to. When you're reading a regular mystery, you're trying to get something in, almost like a movie. That's what I do. I have to see where the place is, where the furniture they're talking about. All right, here, okay, I know Grafton. It's probably on that main drag. This is the wonder of Lisa. Everything is, all right, so they can get over on Amazon also.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
very good.
Enchanted Passage, or down here.
Billy the Enchanted Ghost, and he's right out in front of the Enchanted Passage bookstore.
Yeah.
What's that one about?
This is sort of a Where's Waldo kind of thing, where he's in different places in the bookstore, but if you take a look at some of the pictures,
Yeah.
you don't see in the picture the entire room, you just see a little piece of the room, and you have to try to go through the bookstore and figure out where that little section is.
So each page has something that you have to find.
Yep, so in each one, the ghost is in the picture somewhere, and the scene itself is in the bookstore. So you have to find the ghost in the picture.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the bookstore, that scene is somewhere in the bookstore itself, so you have to try to figure out where that is in the bookstore.
Is this an Enchanted Passage?
Yes, all of those are at Enchanted Passage.
How on earth did you get it
So-
to be mysterious looking?
Well, that's part of Photoshop, is putting filters and things on tops of things. But like that's in the history room.
Yeah.
The next one that you were looking at was
Oh, this one here?
Yep. So that one's in the tea room, up on the shelf, but
Yeah.
they're all in the hidden little places in the bookstore. So if you go roaming around through the bookstore, you'll find all these little scenes in different locations.
Billy's set to read and play, always keeping out of sight. Oh, that's Billy, the little guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Like for kids, you can find an enchanted ghost.
Yep. Yep. So the ghost is in each scene, and each scene was taken somewhere at the bookstore.
Billy loves to hide and seek. Can you find him? Take a peek. And that's what this book is all about. Can your child find Billy in each image? What age group do you think?
I think young children.
Yeah, the little ones. I get a big kick. I love kids. Oh yeah, about Enchanted Passage, more than a bookstore, it's a destination. And boy, you better believe it. I love that story. And about Lisa, has written over 400 books, and she keeps going on a variety of topics. I mean a variety. Many are set in Sutton, Massachusetts, and here are a few that appeal to younger readers. And you had Cinderella, Cordelia, and Aries. Now, I haven't seen any ones of those.
Oh, I could bring them along sometime.
When I was a child, I would have absolutely gone nuts over everything you and I bet you my mother would have had you come over for dinner and things like that because I want Jan to meet Lisa and to read these books because that's what I used to go for. Love these kinds of mysteries. What was there one called The Witch of Blackbird Pond?
Okay.
Did you have that when you were growing up?
I vaguely remember it.
An aunt of mine sent that to me. I think her husband was an author. He wasn't the author of that book, but she was very much into books, and she sent me The Witch of Blackbird Pond. And when I first got it, I thought, well, I don't know. I read it and loved it.
Oh, great.
It's still out there. Also at the Enchanted Passage, Nancy Drew. Okay, a lot of you guys out there, we grew up with Nancy Drew. There's one I remember. Remember Thornton Burgess? The Mother West Wind stories? Grandfather the Frog, Jimmy Squirrel. Thornton Burgess. He was a famous author. Now, got Billy. All right, now, an essay on mineral, animal, and vegetable poisons, an 1820 historical document, perfect for authors, researchers, and curious students of life. What's this all about?
So that was an actual essay someone wrote in 1820 that talks about what they knew at the time about poisons and how they affected people and how they tried to treat them. So I did a lot of research on this when I was writing the Salem witch story because it involves a lot of history in it. So I decided that I should republish this book since this was out of print right now. So that's one that I didn't write, but I did a lot of editing and did illustrations for it and that sort of thing.
When did you write that one?
That was when I was writing the Salem story, so both of these just came out.
Do you bring that up to Salem, too, when you go up there?
I don't know. It just came out. I mean, I don't even have the paper copies in hand yet, so
Yeah.
we'll see if Salem's interested in having that. They might.
It's funny that they've got a channel. Well, they've got lots of mystery channels, but I've watched a couple of those Dateline type of things where they follow how the wife murdered her husband or vice versa, and they talk about poison. What do you call it? That car fluid, and a plant, and I can't think of the name of the plant, but you see it and you're like, oh my God. You take a Gatorade and you put this fluid in it, no one's going to know the difference. And everybody says, well, why is the person so sick all the time? And then they die. They were perfectly healthy. They exhume the body and they find right?
Is that antifreeze?
Yeah, yeah. One thing I was going to, you've heard of the nurses. This is tragic. Nurses that were serial killers. Yeah, and they go along and they just bring on a heart attack so that they can look like a hero and rush in, but nobody can save them, right?
See, so that could be that would be the kind of horror story that I would write, because it's a psychological thing. Imagine if you were the patient in bed and you were aware and you saw the nurse coming toward you to do this, and there was no way that you could speak. That's the kind of story that I like to write about.
Exactly. I mean, she would inject something into their IV. I can't remember the name of it. And, it seemed like every floor she was on the shift, that's when the deaths would occur. I think it happened in a VA hospital in Massachusetts. My God, I mean, when you think of, well, how can it get any worse? That's scary stuff, because we trust, the medical staff so much. Who's going to know, but I read about that. Another one you loved, It's a Murder. Where did I see it? They looked at it at the, Ghost Adventures. The guys went in. She owned like an inn, like a house.
Okay.
And I forgot her name. She would take people in, usually older gentlemen on Social Security.
Okay.
She would, however it took to kill them, she buried them on the front yard of this place. I can't think of her name. She did exist, and boy, what a sicko. Oh yeah. She just take them in, and that's it. But your ideas, it's like you say, they're based on a psychological one rather than, I'm going to get you with this and I'm going to, like that.
Yeah.
Now, what's the next one coming on Spirits?
Oh.
Is this it?
Oh, no, it'll definitely be a series. I just have so many other series that people are waiting on books for that I think I'll try to get a couple of the other ones caught up a little more.
I've been looking forward to this one. I can't wait to. No, the kitty cat, the black hat, you designed the whole thing.
Yep.
She designs all our covers. This is pretty cool. Now, this will be downstairs.
Yeah.
Will a copy of Billy?
Yes,
Okay,
Billy.
down. And
downstairs.
you've only got one copy of Sophia, so that...
With me right now. I'll leave that one downstairs and I'll bring you another one sometime.
I know they appreciate it. Lisa, again, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, go to Facebook. You can look for Lisa Shea. You can go to lisashea.com. You can look for Lisa Shea on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. I'm on pretty much anything else too, LinkedIn, Pinterest.
Now, you also, I know I went to one of her seminars, classes. I went to one. It's a lot of fun, and you learn a lot. I mean, a lot. Where are you going to be? Are you giving some more locally?
I'm doing them in Blackstone right now.
Yeah.
On Monday nights, and then I'm doing them in Shrewsbury next month in October.
Okay. I know the Blackstone librarian. I cannot think of her name. She's great. I've set my office up there. I went over there and gave a presentation, a nice big room.
Yep.
Shrewsbury. Where in Shrewsbury Library? I don't know which room you'd be in.
They've got a bunch of different rooms, so we'll see which one they put me into.
Which one? Yeah, because let me tell you, the Sutton Writers Group that Lisa leads is big. We have a medium to small size room. We all fit into it. But if a lot more people come, it's going to be fun. But we're going to hang them from the rafters.
We'll figure something out.
And Lisa's great because she goes around. She has everybody maybe give a little bit of what they're thinking about writing, read a little bit. I thought that was really, really cool. And I'm still working on what I want to do. A friend of mine who came with me, she's still working on what she wants to do. It gets you to thinking, like, see, maybe not. Maybe I want to try this. How do you, as a professional writer, get if you're new, how do you get past that? Like, oh, I'm bored of that. Now I'm going to go. How do you stay with something long enough?
Well, but I've got 30 different series, so clearly I haven't you come up with it. I just jump from one to the other and work on whatever's interesting to me.
It doesn't ever get like, oh, well, I'm tired of that.
No, but if I was getting, like, if I'm working on the Sophia series and I get tired of working on that for some reason, then I'll hop over and I'll work on the Spirit series. And if I get tired of that, I'll hop over to the Oxendine series and work on that. So there's always something to write about.
All right, but somebody who wants to write just one book, they're a newbie.
I would still, if something else calls to you, I would still work on that for a while, and
Oh,
then
that too.
you'll get energized to work on the original one again.
I've got a picture in my mind of Lisa sitting in a typewriter, just as the ideas come, and then you edit it later.
Yes.
Just do it. Just do it as it comes. I love that part. So you don't have to edit it every sentence.
No, because let's say that you're working on chapter 1 and you edit it and edit it and edit it, and then by the time you get to chapter 5, you realize you really should start somewhere else completely, and all that work you put into chapter 1 is now gone.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do something else different. So it's not worth it to put the editing effort in at the beginning. Just get
go.
the story down.
Just do, what's it called? Word, or there's an office little gizmo I hit. All right. That's about all I know. And then you can judge the size of the letters you want to watch.
Sure.
But just for your manuscript, you can do it that way. I know there's going to be a ton more coming out. I can't keep up with her. What is something you haven't even done yet that you want to get started on?
I don't know that there's anything that I want to do that I haven't tried to do. I mean, the horror stuff, I kept saying I wouldn't do it, and finally I did it just because I didn't want to have something in my life that I refused to do.
Yeah.
The next one that I have to finish before Halloween is at Enchanted Passage. I'm writing a Civil War era time travel ghost story that's aimed towards teenagers. So that one's aimed for little kids, I suppose,
Yeah,
instead of
Billy.
pointing at
Yeah.
the table. So this one
That's a little
is aimed for little kids. But I've got one that I've got the first book done for that's aimed at, let's say, middle school kids.
Yeah.
And it's about a boy, the same Billy person, who's living in the Civil War era, and then a girl who lives in modern times, and they're able to talk with each other.
What a great idea. You know, it's funny you mentioned the Civil War. My great-great-grandfather, Jocelyn, was the founder and the inventor of the Jocelyn rifle during the Civil War. And I've been trying to find out where this gentleman is buried. It's like we know where most everyone else is. I can't, it's almost like, where'd you put him? I would love to take my son to at least see, this is the guy, he was pretty well known, but I think it was in Millburg. I think he sometimes worked with Asa Waters, maybe.
Okay.
They were both in the military, giving the guns to the soldiers, to the government.
Yeah.
But when the Civil War ended, these guys went out of business a lot. I don't know what happened to them. It's a mystery to me. I know my great-grandmother married his son, Ben Jr., but that's why this interests me. When will that be out?
Hopefully shortly. I'm trying to work on the cover right now, so I'm posting on Facebook getting cover ideas. As soon as we can nail the cover down, then I'll put it out.
Will it be about this size or more skinny?
It'll be skinny. It'll be like the Sophia size.
Now, these are all going to be when you appear next month, right?
Yes.
Okay. What date is that again?
It's the last Friday in October
Okay, so that
is the Enchanted Passage one. But then we also have one at A Touch of Magic in Uxbridge, and then we have one at Millbury, Barnes and Noble. So we'll be doing 3 different paranormal author events.
Okay, so the Touch of Magic will be when?
I don't know.
Okay, it's going to be next month, though, right?
Yes. All 3 are in October. I think the Millbury, Barnes and Noble one is on a Friday, and I think the Touch of Magic one is on a Thursday, but I could be wrong.
When you when you appear somewhere, do you at the Barnes and Noble, where do they put you? Because I wouldn't know where to look for you over there.
They clear out one of the areas on the right, like back behind the cafe. So they just push aside some of the tables and carts and stuff
And
and
that's
make
what
an
they
open
do.
space there. Yep.
One time, I think we went to see a poet there, or the one on Lincoln Street.